Good morning, viewers at home. Welcome to the program SuperDawn. I am Vera Super with you on this edition of the program. Well, this morning, it's a beautiful morning, though the holiday is over. Loads of people have started businesses and some have resumed at work. So it's expected that to begin to see rush. And this particular period is the rush hour. Today on this program, we're going to be looking at the danger, looking at the heavy-duty trucks on some bridges in Lagos. And that's what we'll be doing today. Although in Lagos, military said that they gave them 48 hours to vacate the bridges. You know that if you have heavy load on those bridges, it will cause what we call a wear and tear, or it is dangerous even to road users and businesses. So we want to look at it, and this morning, and we have our guest already. When that segment comes, well, you will know the guest we have today in the studios. Away from that, normally what we do is to go through the papers. Yesterday we did, and I implore you that I want us to check our words. Choice of words is very important in this program. If you are just here to insult the presidency, insult everybody around you, well, you might be cut off. I want us to be objective. I want us to prefer solutions to all of these challenges because every day in our papers you will see challenges. But prefer solution is very important so we can know how we can tackle all of these challenges. So it's important that we are on the same page. Well, we'll go on this break, and when we come back, I'm going to take in some stories in the dailies. Please stay with us.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. It's the newspaper segment, and we want to start with the Nation newspaper this morning. The first story here says, Adebayo says, Obasanjo's presidency a calamity. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who had been campaigning against President Muhammadu Buhari's re-election, has been described as a failure by elder statesman, Chief Ayo Adebayo. Well, everybody is saying someone is a failure, and we're getting to know another person is a failure here. We also have in the papers this morning, Buhari urges caution as APC governor split over Oyegun, and the writer says, Villa meeting inconclusive, anxiety over predictable adversary panel. Despite President Muhammadu Buhari's admonition, some of the All Progressive Congress governors are still bent on tenure extension for the party's National Working Committee led by Chief John Oyegun. They say the party does not need to conduct Congressive and National Convention, but the president has warned that the governors against illegal acts are capable of making the party to lose 2019 poll on technical grounds. The party has inaugurated a technical committee on the failure of the NWC, but a big row has broken over the committee's membership. So they are having a little bit of disagreement here. In the papers, in the Nation, it also says here, Nigeria adds to $42.6 trillion new market bank assets. We also have in the papers, Milaya accuser get May 10th court date. State funeral for Winnie Mandela. And here says, police says 188 guns, others in Lagos. I think I need to take that. That's a security one. The Lagos State Police Command said yesterday it has recovered 188 guns and 280 ammunition between September and last weekend. The police commissioner, who spoke at the news briefing in Ikeja, said among the weapons were those vulnerably returned by residents in accomplice with directives of the Inspector General of Police. The IG ordered owners of illegal arms to return them from March 1 to April 28 or be arrested. So if you have unregistered gun, that's illegal. You need to go and return it before you are caught. You know. But the phone lines are open. You can call to make your contributions. Yes, the phone lines are open. We also have not so a good news. It said, I'm not a cultist, paraded suspect claim until it's proved otherwise. Okay? Air chiefs warn against playing politics with security matters. And the writer says special force deployed in Zamfara to stop killings. I really didn't know how we got to this place, really, where incessant killing is the order of the day. I think the government and individuals, I think we need to really sit down. This needs to be nipped in the bud. We do not have to begin to kill each other or being insecure in your own country. I don't think that is good. But I'm praying that the government can do something about it. Well, I'll move away from the nation this morning and I want to look at some stories in the News Telegraph. And this says, Mama Boko Haram interview. How armed robbers, ritual killers hijack Boko Haram. And this says, politicians' interest behind unending bloodshed. You remember the Mama Boko Haram, and she's giving the details how politicians, ritual killers hijack it. So let me just take some of the story. It's an interview, it's a picture, and she was interviewed. She is a human rights activist. She's more popular with the name Mama Boko Haram. In an interview recorded from Focus Nigeria, a program on the African Independent Television, AIT. And she gives insights into the fight by Boko Haram insurgents, how the group was hijacked, and the role of politicians and why the Chibok girl were not released initially. How did you even come about being Mama Boko Haram? These are our response. Long before Boko Haram thing, the whole kids were they called me Yayi Njama, which means the love mom. So from there, I don't have to read all of those. I want you to, excuse me, get hold of the Telegraph to read that. But very interesting. We also have this stock markets end first quarter with 1.4 trillion gain. The trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange finished the first quarter of the year 2018 on a positive note with a record of 1.385 trillion gain to close at 14.992 trillion in the market capitalization. This is despite that the market lost 903 billion in the months of February and March as profit taking took tolls on equity. So you need to get hold of the Telegraph for you to know more on that. 2019, APC governors push for Oyegun's tenure extension, Buhari's re-election. We also have this, Kalu, Buhari deserves a second term, and the writer says, ex-Abia governor, a destabilized Nigerian, says Alaki. World Bank approves new rules for project financing in Nigeria. Taiwo says PDP will take over Southwest in 2019. Admittance of Lagos post-Southwest integration. And finally, from the Daily Trust, so we can pick other stories, we have this rising reserves. Dwindling inflation boosts economic confidence. Let's go away from the Telegraph and we take some stories in the Daily Trust this morning. Fireworks as Buhari, APC governors tussled over Oyegun. Heated caucus meeting of the governors elected on the platform of the ruling Congress, APC, continued in Abuja as we went to press last night following their deadlock meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari on the fate of the party chief, John Oyegun, the National Working Committee and the State Committee. The participants in the meeting told Daily Trust that there were fireworks as the governors broke into fractions, with some pushing for Oyegun's retention while others pushed for a replacement after the Working Committee tenure ends in June. There's also a picture story in the Daily Trust where Nigerian Air Force, Special Forces deployed to Zamfara State by the Chief of Air Staff to stop incessant attack by bandits arrived in Gwaso yesterday. You can see the story on page 8 of the Daily Trust. President Buhari plans private visit to London. We also have in the Daily Trust, South African holds state funeral for Winnie Mandela, April 14th. Police arraigned Dino Milaye for rearrested suspects in May 10. The Nigerian police force said it would arraign Senator Dino Milaye and 4 suspects rearrested for alleged conspiracy and unlawful possession of prohibited firearms at the Federal High Court in Lokoja, Kogi State on May 10th. The suspects are Kabiru, alias Osama, Nuhu, and we also have Musa Mohammed, alias Iko, and Emmanuel Audu, 26 years of age. On March 28, the police command in Kogi announced the escape from unlawful custody of 6 suspects, including Sedu Salisu. But now they've been rearrested. In the Daily Trust, farmer headers clashes. Buhari orders assessment of havoc. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to carry out a survey and assessment of the damage in communities affected by the headers farmers clashes. The Vice President, Yemi Osibajo, disclosed this at the presidential villa in Abuja yesterday at the inaugural meeting of the NEMA's Governors Council. So they want to see, to assess the havoc. I do not think it's just to assess the havoc. I think they should put a stop to these headers with farmers clashes. I don't know how they're going to do it. Is it the grazing bill that would do that? Or discussing with governors, or educating some people? Because I think education has a role to play here. If someone tells you to kill, for instance, and the person has his own family, the person is not going to be caught, the person might not be put in jail, why should you go ahead and kill? For what reason? I think the president needs to do more on that. Troops killed 2 bandits in Kaduna and recovered weapons. Nigerian army troops deployed in an exercise in Yema at Patuma while on patrol along Donga Dawa Damari Road in Kaduna State killed 2 suspected criminals and recovered AK-47 rifles. The troop also recovered 3 magazines and 88 rounds of 7.62 meters special ammunition from the bandits. I do not know how the proliferation of arms in our country, I don't know how we're going to mop up all of this, and you know, I don't really know how they get all these guns, AK-47 rifles. I really don't know how people come along with these things without being registered. We also have this Senate to replace MBTE and NCCE with new agency. Get hold of the Daily Trust and you can read more. Custom introduces new uniform for officers. Well, when I saw that yesterday, it looked, maybe the female version of it, the way it came, looked very interesting with their long ties anyway. I saw that yesterday, but it looks very nice. Well, we also have, finally, from this segment, The Punch this morning, tenure allegation, Buhari APC governors meeting deadlocked. And the writer says NWC members can work in acting capacity at Keridolu. Well, you need to get hold of that this morning, and let me see if I can take that story, and if time permits, let me see if we can take some of the stories this morning. We don't have time on our side. Well, we also have this one here. PDP CNM back Obasanjo's Buhari's is a failure comment. We took that yesterday where we read Obasanjo said this tenure is a failure. In fact, he said Buhari is a failure. This administration is a failure. INEC raises alarm on budget delay. CDHR orders floor the National Assembly. I'm talking about elections. We took this in other papers, but it's in the Punch. Melaye, police arrest 6 persons for aiding suspects escape. How can you be rearrested? How can you be arrested and you disappear? You jump bail. How can you do that? But I said I was going to take this story. There were indications that President Muhammadu Buhari and all Progressive Congress governors meeting at the presidential villa on Tuesday ended in deadlock as the two parties failed to make any decision on the tenure of the APC National Working Committee members. It was learned that both the president and the governors later agreed that the committee set up by the national chairman of the party, Chief John Oyego, on the issue earlier on Tuesday should be allowed to do its work and submit its report. All parties has theirs. Okay, I will just take this one. China to invest $250 billion in the U.S. I thought they would do that in Nigeria, but why in the U.S.? 90 Kaduna youth benefit from total skills acquisition scheme. Police reforms will boost investment, ease of doing business. Well, this is where we will come to an end, but before we do that, the last story I want to take here. UN condemns Makurdi attack. Sorry, I take that again. US condemns Maduguri's attack, says Boko Haram has killed 120 in 2018. That is, in 2018, this year, from January up till date, they've killed 120 people, human beings, not chickens. I think we need to do something about it. Well, this is where we come to an end of this segment. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we want to look at the substantive. Please stay with us.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Bad breath, also known as halitosis or fetoris, affects an estimated 25% of people globally. There are a number of potential causes of halitosis, but the vast majority come down to oral hygiene. Halitosis can cause significant worry, embarrassment, and anxiety, but generally it is relatively easy to remedy. The most common cause of halitosis is bad oral hygiene. If particles of food are left in the mouth, they break down by bacteria producing sulfur compounds, and there are a number of common causes of bad breath, which include smoking, tooth decay, and alcohol consumption. Bad breath in children is often due to a trapped item in the nasal cavity. Bad breath is a common problem that can cause significant psychological distress. There are a number of potential causes and treatments of halitosis, which is the third most common reason that people seek dental care after tooth decay and gum disease. The specific odor of breath varies depending on the cause of the problem. It is best to ask a close friend or relative to gauge your mouth odor, as it is very difficult to access it yourself. If no one is at hand, one way of checking the odor is to lick your wrist, leave it to dry, and then smell it. If it smells bad, there is a strong chance your breath also smells bad. Some individuals are concerned about their breath even though they may have little or no mouth odor. This condition is called halitophobia and can lead to obsessive mouth cleansing behavior. Major potential causes of bad breath include tobacco products causing their own types of mouth odor, breakdown of food particles stuck in the teeth. Some foods such as onions and garlic can also cause bad breath after they are digested. Their breakdown products are carried in the blood to the lungs where they can affect the breath. Dry mouth is another cause, as saliva naturally cleans the mouth. If the mouth is naturally dry, but due to a specific disease such as xerostomia, odors can build up. Dental hygiene, which requires brushing and flossing, ensure the removal of small particles of food that can build up and slowly break down, producing odor. A form of bacteria called plague builds up if brushing is not regular. This plague can irritate the gums and cause pockets of build up between the teeth and gums called periodontitis. Crash diets, which is fasting and low carbohydrate eating programs, can produce halitosis. This is due to the breakdown of fats producing chemicals called ketones. These ketones have a strong aroma. Certain drug medications can also reduce saliva and therefore increase mouth odor. Other drugs can produce odors as they break down and release chemicals in the breath, such as nitrates used to treat angina, some chemotherapy chemicals, and some tranquilizers, such as phenothiazines. Individuals who take vitamin supplements in large doses can also be prone to bad breath. Mouth, nose, and throat condition effects sometimes produce small bacteria covered stones that form on the tonsils at the back of the throat and produce a mouth odor. Also, infections or inflammations in the nose, throat, or sinuses can cause halitosis, which is bad breath, especially in children. It can be caused if they have a foreign body lodged in their nasal cavity. Some cancers, liver failures, and other metabolic diseases can cause halitosis due to specific mixes of chemicals that they produce. Gastroesophageal reflux disease can cause bad breath due to the regular reflux of stomach acids. Major treatment for bad breath include brushing at least twice a day, but preferably after each meal. Flossing reduces the buildup of food particles and plaque from between the teeth. Brushing only cleans around 60% of the surface of the tooth. Cleaning dentures of anything that goes into your mouth .
Welcome back. Well, in this segment, we want to look at the dangers of trucks in Lagos, some of the Lagos bridges this morning. And we have a guest in the studio, but before I introduce the guest, bridges are meant to carry light loads. But what is happening in Lagos today is amazing, and we want to look at it. Why do we allow heavy truck articulated vehicles on our bridges in some parts of Lagos? Well, we have with us this morning the CEO of LASMA, that's AIG Chris Olakpe. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you on the set. The discussion this morning is about the trucks, heavy-duty truck that is static on some bridges in Lagos. We're looking at the Abati Barracks and we're looking at Costain, Ojuelegba Stadium. From those exits, you could notice that you have about 80 trucks, containers on the bridges. And I want to talk about it because that has really caused traffic gridlock in Lagos. Even yesterday, as I took that end, I noticed it. Is there any place in the world that where you have such in the world?
Well, I have to start by saying that we'll look at Lagos as a mega city. We look at Lagos as being the hub of commercial and industrial activities in Nigeria. We look at Lagos as a city blessed by the oceans and other veritably important rivers. And we look at Lagos as the center of a trade coast of commerce. For that reason, a lot of influx has been experienced in Lagos. And don't forget that if we look at what has been over the past 25, 30 years, the axis of Apapa had not been quite looked into. But now we are happy that there is a private partnership with government that is looking at the reconstruction and the redirection of all the roads linking up Apapa with both the Lagos state government and the federal government and the flour mills and Dangote group of industries. And I think what we're experiencing now is going to be for a short while when the construction will be concluded and the Lagos state government is building a massive trailer park that will take care of all this.
Well, the phone lines are open for you to call and ask your questions or make your contributions. Well, yesterday I plowed that road. I go through that place on a daily basis. But we know that if you have heavy duty, static with containers on the road like that, that is dangerous. Aside what that can cause to road users and also businesses. Recently we had where the military said that it's also going to consist of danger, security threats. We have Boko Haram terrorizing people. We have all sorts of bandits around. Will this not, this regular static of these trucks, this articulated vehicle, not cause a menace? Is it not causing a menace when we look at security? Because I know you are an authority when it comes about security. You are an AIG retired of police. And looking at what this will cause, what do you think will happen along this period you're saying we should hold on?
We, from the axis of security and the security dynamics of the country, I think the police is doing its best. And I must inform that His Excellency State Governor of Lagos had constituted a very strong, high-powered task force comprising of the military, that is Army, Navy, Air Force, and comprising of also LASTMA officials and Road Safety Corps officials to manage the traffic along the axis of Apapa, along those bridges. You will want to notice that before the intervention of the veritably very deliberate actions of the task force, there were a lot of obnoxious parking of vehicles that covered the corridor and made Apapa inaccessible. But with the task force on ground now, and they were able to streamline traffic, put all of them, of course, on a streamline unilinearly so that corridor can be opened for other vehicles to access Apapa. And as well, I must have to inform that the anti-bomb squad, the counter-terrorism squad, the mobile police force, the military, they are all keeping their eyes on the target on Apapa, and we have no cause to worry.
Are we not undermining the durability and safety of these users of the road itself? Are we not undermining it?
Well. We see
these bridges are not designed to carry heavy.
The way it is now, I think work is going on very fast at exposing new roads and new infrastructure for the use of these trucks. And I believe that in a couple of months, let's say 2 months from now, the park that we built for them will have been ready.
Okay, because
yes.
I know that experts have said that these bridges are already weak. This was created, constructed in the oil boom period, that's
yes.
about 1970s,
yes.
and up to date, we don't see regular maintenance. And they have said that Nigerian issue is about maintenance. If you are not maintaining such bridges, such routes, are you not endangering the lives of Lagosians?
Well, I cannot speak on things that are so technical and engineering based like that, but I know that all hands are on deck now to ensure that this seemingly menacing outpouring of vehicles into Lagos will soon be a thing of the past, and that we have a construction that is going on that which type has never happened in the country by Dangote and flour mills, and I believe that in a short while we should be able to overcome these challenges.
So how long are we? You said you're not specific. We're not the one fixing the road anyway.
Yes.
But you were not specific because I know that yesterday, I experienced it going on yesterday from Onikban. You know that the route they now take is if you want to be on the safer side, you will not climb the bridge. You go through Ojuelegba down, you turn, and then you head back to Costain.
Yes.
I was there for 4 hours. The manpower, the stress, the effect on one's health is something you cannot quantify. So looking at all of this stress, you're saying Lagosians should wait and endure. Why their lives in danger?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the time for constructive infrastructural layout, and for that reason you can see, for instance, Lagos State government is on its own constructed and re-engineering a 10-lane path from the international airport linking up to Oshodi interchange, up to Badagry, 10 lanes each. And when such massive construction is going on, we want to call on the Lagosians and all Nigerians to be patient, because no pains, no gains.
So looking at the tank farm, I don't know if this question should be directed to you. You said that Lagos State is trying to ease tension, also constructing roads that will help the citizens in Lagos. Looking at how we got to this level, what do you think happened here? Because a Papa route wasn't this way, like this before. What happened?
Well, I wouldn't want to say neglect, and I won't say lack of maintenance, but I believe that there was no political will to actually look at that road after it was constructed within 1972, 1977, and at a point people went to sleep, and the road found itself in such a very uncanny and unmotorable manner. And I am happy that government is looking into it very, very deliberately and frontally, and I wish to appeal to members of the motoring public that they should be patient as these constructions work are going on. I believe that by the turn of the end of October, we should begin to see fast movements and things will take shape. So I think we should be patient with government.
Okay, looking at, because you're going to do a lot of advising here, because we have other ports, seaports. It's not just Lagos State, and it's looking as if we're concentrating on Lagos, and that's why we have all of this issue. But let me take you back to Latsma. What are you guys doing in Lagos, aside where those bridges are? We'll begin to witness another traffic in Lagos. When you first came in, we saw that there was a free flow.
Yes.
But right now, everywhere in Lagos, you get traffic. What are you doing concerning that?
Yes, you're correct. But let me just draw attention to a very, very salient point that you will see that if you take Lagos from Abeokuta by Sangota coming, you see a lot of massive construction going on, of BRT lane to east traffic from the Abule Egba axis to Oshodi. You see a lot of pedestrian crossover being built, a lot of drainage system being built. So as those building constructions and re-engineering is going on, there's road constriction. So people are forced to manage few lanes. So, and because of the influx of traffic and Lagos being hub of commercial activities, you find the influx coming in from a 4-lane constricted to about 2 lanes because of massive construction. But I believe that it's a matter of time, because if we don't undertake or undergo this process now, in which the infrastructure is one of the major planks of Lagos State government, as led by Mr. Kimomi Ambode, we will not enjoy Lagos. Because when you see what we met in I think I've been in Lagos for over, I would say over 60 years now. I was born and bred in Lagos, schooled in Lagos and stuff. And I believe that this is just the time, more than ever before, that this kind of massive construction and re-engineering of Lagos roads is taking place. So I want to say again that we should give a chance to government to prove itself as Lagos improves. But in managing the traffic, we have put in men who are accessible, who are visible, and we have told them that they should be polite, civil to members of the public, and that's what's going on. There's hardly any road you pass through that you are men, the last one men, are not visible. And I'm happy that the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, Edgar Moemi, had made promises to us that they will collaborate with us, and they're doing it very effectively. And I believe that with that massive collaboration, we'll be moving traffic.
Okay, I have to take you to last mile officials. When you came again, people said these people had come to relieve Lagosians. They were well dressed, the way they approach people, but that is looking as though it's flipping away, because lots of people has complained, even to us as a station. While we're reading the papers, you hear people calling to say, hey, last mile official has their men who is basically collecting money on their behalf. Is it part of the structure?
That's not part of the structure. That's why we have made it very clear when I assumed office that I created an ombudsman office and also and effectively set up a last mile complaints response unit, and I made clear my phone numbers and the phone numbers of officials, set up a provost marshal unit, set up a special task force made up of men in mufti to monitor and sustain discipline in the roads. I think what I would just charge members of the public is that they should leave the realm of speculation and come to reality and call the numbers I'm going to read out now.
We'll go on a break before you give that number. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll still have the last mile CEO with us this morning. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us. SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us. SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. We still have the CEO LASMA. We're looking at the bridges, heavy articulated vehicle that is stationed on our bridges because of the construction going on. And they are Papa accessed. And so we're still having, and also we're looking at the LASMA themselves. You said that there's a number we can get through where we report these people. Some of your men at times don't wear their shoes. They now wear slippers. You see them with slippers. Oh, well. I said I was going to tell you that because I accosted when I said, if I see you on this again, I'm going to report you to your CEO. So what's happening?
Well, you see, with the advent of the present administration, the governor injected about 1,450 young men and women graduate officers into the system to obviate and of course, change the perception, mindset of people about LASMA. So the injection of these graduates has changed the mindset, and people are now more than ever presenting themselves neat, presenting themselves more civilly, and presenting themselves more public-relatedly. But the issue of slippers, I think we are going to look at that. No organization is perfect in its entirety. All those ones that are becoming obdurate and irresponsible, they are being fished out and dealt with.
Okay, because I've also met some LASMA people, and I wonder, hey, young lady, what are you doing here? You know, and the way they talk, the way they approach you, I can see that they are trainings. Do you do regular trainings on some of them?
Yes, very well so. We have interactions, regular interactions on development programs with them. Then besides that, the Lagos State Enforcement Training Institute, LETI, is an ongoing process that the men undergo training from top to the bottom, bottom to the top. And so training and retraining is key to sustaining, to the sustainability of this issue of personality profile and neatness, and conveying more purpose-driven nature and nurture process. So, but I would say we are deepening the training manuals.
Okay, what about us, the citizens, the citizenry? What do you think? Are there challenges we give to your men? Because I know that some of them complain that people don't obey them and all that.
I have seen the Nigerian public from two axes now. I was a police officer from the rank of ASP to AIG, and in LASMA too, I've seen the attitude, and the attitudes have not been very comely with members of the uniform setup. You will make an observation, a LASMA man comes forward, stops you on the BRT, the next thing you do, you either say you're a military officer, or you say you're a police officer, or you say you're a high caliber politician. The next thing, boys come out and beat them up. And we have told them that we will not sustain that kind of uncanny activity going on. And that's why we have, in addition to finding 20,000 naira for going to the BRT, we have included willful obstruction, which is 50,000.
It doesn't matter whose class it is.
It doesn't matter which class it is. 50,000 willful obstruction, 20,000 going to the BRT lane, and 20,000 for resisting arrest. That's 90,000. So 90,000 fine. So for anyone who wants to be reasonable, he must make sure that he doesn't spend his money paying fines. And besides that, if you run against one way, it's going to amount to forfeiture of your vehicle for life. So you don't do one way. Yes, you forfeit your vehicle
for life.
For life, yes. And then besides that, we can take you to the mobile traffic court also to be dealt with, and you'll be imprisoned. So we have all these laws and we have all these things that should guide conduct. But I want to appeal to members of the public that the LASMA officials are theirs, that the taxpayers, and we are not civil masters but civil servants, but at the same time, they owe it a duty reciprocally to make sure that they obey the law, rules and regulations, and then be very civil and polite also to the LASMA officials.
Okay, when you came on board, what was in your mind? What were you trying to do? You've been in Lagos all through. Yes. Can you give us, again, you've said this before, now, you've told us your agenda when you came in, what you want to look to see in Lagos, what you want Lagos to look like. But before you answer that question, there's a caller here. Hello, good morning to you.
All right, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Please, I need to report the activities of some officials at Ikeja, the bridge by General Hospital. They first time constitute me that I have been looking for opportunity to make this kind of report. You see, they have men in mostly asking them to collect money from motorists. Let these motorists to park, they park completely on the road, and then instead of them, arresting them or making them to park where they're supposed to park, they just give them the right of way and collect money from them. Or they bring it very quickly. So they have people in mostly delivering, to them. And I'm going to make a video recording of them very soon, and I'll send it.
Okay,
so please do something about them.
Okay, thank you for calling. Yes.
Yes, very, very, very good. I can see he's a very, very enlightened citizen, and he said he'll make video recordings. But I want to say very clearly that it is the duty of all members of the public to watch out for officials who are involving themselves in crashing discipline and manipulating the public for selfish conduct. And the numbers to call whenever it happens are 080-369-29809, 080-369-29809. Then secondly, 081-299-28550, 081-299-28550. Then 081-299-28646, 081-299-28646. These numbers should be articulated, and whenever you have any observation, please orchestrate to these numbers, send SMS, or you can get us also by calling us directly, and we will swoop on them and bring them to book.
Okay, he also said something very key. We just don't look at last mile alone, we also look at the people themselves, Lagosians. He said, instead of them to pack the person and give receipt, should we insist that I'm not going to give that guy, that your agent, money, I'll rather take and pay to the government?
Yes.
Should we insist?
Yes, definitely. There are no two ways to it. If you violate traffic and they're taking you around to extort, that is not acceptable. You must insist to receive your fine ticket, and it will be stated the banks to which you'll be paying the fine, after which that fine is paid, the vehicles will be released. And make sure also that you know that for every day the vehicle sleeps in last mile yard, that is what we call demurrage. You pay 1,000 naira every day for the day that the vehicle. So it is very important that you should obey traffic regulations. It's very important that you should drive without distraction. You should fasten your seatbelt before driving. That's for your own self-protection. You should also avoid texting while driving, and also picking calls while driving, because your life is in danger when you do that, and the lives of members of the public too.
And before that caller came in, before the call came in, I said something. You saw Lagos the way it was, and before you came in, and I guess you had plans for Lagos. Can you reiterate those plans?
Yes. First of all, I saw that one veritable area of friction is the area of lack of understanding between LASMA and the armed forces and the police, and for that reason, I made it a very important part of my agenda to make sure that we bridge the gap. So we paid official visits to the Night Brigade Commander, General Atu. We also paid a visit to the NNSB Croft. We also paid visit to the AIG Zone 2, and paid visit to the Commander, Air Force Wing. And from the interactions, we will be able to assure that we'll work in partnership, and that should protect LASMA instead of violating traffic, and that has been working magically. But some are still involved in violating. And
okay, I'm still going to take you while we were talking. You saw the trailer load, containers load. Are your men there in case there's a breakdown of vehicle in that? Because right now people just have a very small narrow road that everybody is driving through. In case there's a breakdown of vehicle, do you have your men on the bridges? Yes, we have a rescue operation team. A rescue operation team with all our paraphernalia of tow vehicles. They sweep from midnight to early hours of the morning to make sure that all encumbrances are removed from the road. And besides that, we have the LRU who assist us a lot for, they have heavy duty truck, and they assist to move off all these trucks that are falling down, or the trucks that have broken down from the road. I can recall that this morning there was one that happened around Ikorodu axis, and the LRU and LASMA were there to pick it up. So we have a combination of synergy and a collaboration between LRU, LASMA, rescue operations that is 24 hours. Okay, looking at this, and that's what we started with the bridges, really is frightening, because we know that, look at the traffic that is causing, because most people don't want to take the top of the bridge, because if you take the top, you're meeting the heavy trucks on the truck. So most people prefer to take the stadium road. The service link. Service road. So looking at this, what it will cost, obviously it's going to weaken the road, and you said we might continue like this till October. Do you think they can hasten this construction in time so that people can, at least movement, and have a free flow of traffic? Yes, you know, I'm not a construction engineer, neither am I a structural engineer or civil environmental engineer, but I can't foretell that in a short while we should be above this very serious quagmire where we find ourselves now. And because of the massive construction, like I said, most of these things will be a thing of the past. And in a short while, I believe, because work is ongoing. Another thing that happened, the military gave it 48 hours for these trucks to vacate the bridges, but up to today, they are still there. What do you think happened here? After the stakeholder meeting, I'm sure you were part of the stakeholders meeting. Yes, I cannot foretell the minds of the military, and I'm sure that the military, they are trained in a way that what they say, they carry on immediately. But I believe that whatever the challenge they're facing, I think they will overcome it and will be able to keep date with what they have said. I think they are up the task, and they're doing it. Okay, they will carry it out. They'll carry it out. I'm looking at all of this. This event is, I don't know if Lagosians can bear for a long time, but we hardly see an ambulance by the side, because most times, especially in Ojuelegba, you keep seeing bends of trucks. You keep hearing trucks bending down. You keep seeing trucks that are not even good enough on the road. They are on the road, planning the road. You know, most times you see that, and you don't notice like an emergency center there, where if things happen, they can really easily get help. Why have we not been noticing that on the road? No, take note of one thing, and that's very clear about Lagos State government and its administration, and the policy also, that emergency units are just once you call the number 112, quickly the ambulance comes to the rescue. Quickly, when the roads are already jammed. No. Yes. The trucks are on one side. Yes, the trucks are on one side. But whatever it is, we have a more visible, more vibrant emergency unit on the prowl. And I believe that whenever they are called, they'll be there. Besides that, His Excellency, the State Governor, released funds and procured ambulances for LASMA. And shortly you will see the ambulances that are being rebranded. They'll soon be on the road to join in the foray. And we were on air, someone has texted and said that why is the enforcement, they asked the CEO why the enforcement part of LASMA is docile compared to the way it used to be. Well, that's very clear. The way it used to be was Hopshian, dog eat dog.
People jump into people's car. You see last man fighting. You see them dragging themselves with blood stains everywhere. I don't think that the civilized conduct of democracy, we should be seeing that kind of character again.
Could it mean that this person is saying you were not as
yes,
effective as it used to be?
No. We are saying that Lagosians who want people fighting, and there's nowhere you fight on the streets and say that is what should be. We should be able to cooperate when we are stopped. I've seen them. Myself, I've been challenged by members of the public when I say, look, don't park there. I want to, they'll come and say, what has he done? What has he done? We'll kill ourselves here now. What has he done? What has he done? You know, that kind of conduct. Submit yourself to authority. Be submissive. And we don't want a LASMA that will come and be fighting in uniform. We don't want to see such practices again. What they mean by enforcement is to see LASMA jumping on vehicles and fighting. And I said, no, there must be civility attached to the operations, because we must respect members of the public. And so the time of the option tactics, arm twisting tactics has gone to a more civil dispensation.
Is it all offense that must be paid for?
All offenses that constitute, yes, all offenses. Yes.
Sometimes I think education can come in. Hey, if you try this next time, you will be given a ticket.
Thank you.
But
you are indirectly answering the question of this man also again. Because when you are civil, they say you are not effective. And that's, you're talking about enlightenment. You're talking about civility. You're talking about public relations. You're talking about interactions based on civil mannerism. And so when those kind of things come, it only comes when members of the public themselves have submitted themselves to the caprices of the law. And we are yet to do that in this country, particularly in Lagos, where every relationship is on dog eat dog, fight for fight, and everything like that. Very option, as if we're in an animal zoo or farm. No, people must now get enlightened. People must submit themselves to the caprices of the law and let the law take its course.
Is it true that these agencies are set up to get money for Lagos State? Is it true that they're set up so that they can get more monies into Lagos State?
I don't agree with you. On one hand, you want enforcement. On the other hand, you are saying they are collecting money for Lagos State. So where do we stand?
I wanted you to clarify
what
that.
I want to say to all members of the public is that first of all, LASMA is not an agency for revenue collection. LASMA is to move traffic forward. But at the same time, we keep an eagle eye on you. If you violate, you will pay. If you violate, you must pay. So we are there to direct you. We are there to move traffic. Even in times of congestion, we turn most congestion to moving traffic. What I mean is that there will be snailling movement, but there will not be total gridlock.
Okay.
So what we are trying to say is that we are not there for revenue collection. We are there to move traffic, and we're also there to encourage members of the traffic to drive professionally, all drivers, yes.
Okay, because we're still having, that's the one in the stadium, I guess,
yes.
The traffic in stadium.
Yes.
Another one came in. Why is LASMA not advising that construction of all roads at the same time can affect traffic, can cause traffic?
Yeah, well, yes, because we are
simultaneously constructing of roads in Lagos.
You see, it has to be simultaneous because the problem had been enduring. And the cure for the enduring lack of roads, the cure for enduring unserviceable lanes, the cure for potholes is to massively reconstruct, massively re-engineer, and have a new template. And that's what the government is doing. So you think
if they had done it stage by stage,
it will not,
government by local government,
no,
it won't work? Are you saying that will not work?
Yes, it will not work because we have had this problem over time. So, and the governor is in a hurry to make sure that he meets up his mandate of 1, infrastructure provision for Lagos, 2, security for Lagos, 3, job creation for Lagosians. And these are very, very important policies of government, and is pursuing them with every strength, vigor, vitality to make sure that the dynamics of his total package will reach the people as dividend of democracy.
Some people said before you came it was a bit tough in Lagos, but since your assumption of office, it's fair, and you can see that you can calculate the time you want to get, except when this construction started. Before this construction started, you can say, hey, I want to be here for 30 minutes, and you'll get there. What's the magic?
Well, the magic is that we're talking to the people. The enlightenment campaign, which I must thank SuperScreen for giving me opportunity.
You must give us adverts.
Yes, we'll give you advert. We'll give you advert, and we want to be having more direct interaction with the public, talk to the public, interface with the public, and advise the public that no pains, no gains. Everything will soon be all right, and we'll have a very smooth flowing traffic in Lagos. Particularly, I would like to advise that when the BRT lanes from Abule Egba and other places get ready, we should be avoiding the use of our cars, 6 cars on the road at the same time. Drive on very cozy buses that are coming. The buses are coming.
Maybe the buses are not enough, because I would have preferred.
No, the buses are coming.
Okay, they are coming.
Yeah, the buses are coming. About 8,000 buses are coming to interface with the BRT, and that should be able to take the influx of the cars that apply in Lagos reduced to the barest minimum. And don't forget that there is an intermodal transportation system going on in Lagos State. The jetties are being repaired, and they are being made super world-class type of jetty, which will have one of them commissioned, the interchange at the Ikeja. We'll have them at the jetty also, where people can sit down, relax, and have their cup of tea while waiting for the boats or the ferry to take them across. So I believe that in the next couple of years, before the conclusion of the 8 years of Ambody, we should have a very sweet Lagos.
Okay, I'm going to hold you on there. There was an interview we carried out yesterday. I want you to hear what Lagosians are saying. Yes. So we'll take this interview and we'll be back. Let's have some Nigerians have spoken concerning this traffic and what is happening in Lagos State. We'll be right back after that.
Situation in Lagos State that is chaotic is not as a result of the failure of Lagos State government. Lagos State government is trying to put everything in place to see that traffic situation improves. Some of the problems that is making this thing to be like this are we the Lagosians. We are causing it. When the Lagos State government puts traffic officers on the road, we don't obey it. We don't obey traffic officers on the road. Even look at the issue of traffic light. We don't obey traffic light. Whereby the traffic warden directs the traffic, people will not obey it. They will be doing otherwise. The state government has put in place so many measures like LASMA and other traffic officials to remedy the situation. So people are the contributory factors to it. No, the state government also has its own problem in the area that, look at, in the area of controlling of traffic. The situation is not as improved as it's supposed to be. The traffic officers themselves, they don't do the work that they're supposed to do. Most of them look into the area of collecting money. For instance, you will see LASMA pursuing Danfo in order to collect money, leaving the responsibility which he is paid for. So if all these people do the work the way they are supposed to do, the situation will improve. And also, there's much influx of traffic in Lagos. Everybody look forward to coming to Lagos. It is as a result of bad administration right from the days of old, when every development is centered in Lagos State. Development is supposed to have been spread. Everybody would have not come to Lagos. Look at, for instance, we even created Abuja. Abuja was officially moved from Lagos on December 12th. It moved on Tuesday, December 12th.
If everybody keeps to the lane, the trailer driver on lane, the traffic will be moving.
I just want to ask you now, what can you say about the traffic situation in Lagos State?
The traffic situation in Lagos is, let's say, reducing because there's a lot of control from the tanker drivers. It's tanker drivers and bad whole roads that cause a lot. But if people keep on to their lane, you know, if trailers should keep on to one lane, then the traffic will be flowing. That's exactly what we're seeing now.
So
Is this traffic situation as regards the tankers here?
Exactly. This is what every right-thinking person has been telling government. These bridges are built, one can say, over 20 years ago, and it's getting out of hand. For those tankers parking on the bridge, if you take cognizance of what is happening, the bridge are dangling. If you stay too long on that bridge, the bridge are dangling, they are floating, you understand? And this is dangerous. The calamity or whatever is going to happen might not be able to be controlled. The best thing for the government for now is to find a lasting solution to the continued parking of these tankers on the bridge. The solution is very clear. There is a tanker park at Ogere, and tankers can be made to park there. They can come in tens, in twos, in tens, in 20s, pick whatever they want to pick from the port and leave. You understand? Instead of them parking all the way from Ojuelegba Bridge here down to the wharf, down to the port, which is very bad, which is very dangerous. You understand? The effect on the people is the number of man-hour being lost in the traffic system. You understand? Though there are some modicum of control by the traffic officers, but still early in the morning, the problem is always there. The vehicles need the road. No vehicle, no matter how it is, articulated vehicles are not meant for no reason at all to be parking on the bridge. So the government need to do something and do something fast.
Their own fault. The drivers of the yellow buses, they also have their own fault in this matter.
No. Yes, quite appreciated, because one great part of my worry is the attitude to commuting by the yellow buses, and I don't know. Most of them feel that they can do and undo. They are killers. I believe they take psychotropic substances, but we have been going around to educate them, particularly in the area of fraternizing with NDLA, to remove all those women selling paraga and all those things which they take before they begin to drive. I think the NDLA, we are partnering with them to go and fish all those women off the parks where they load their passengers.
Okay, looking at this, that's the road to the port, definitely. Don't you think we need to, not even Lagos, Nigeria, we need the federal government, especially this administration, need to do something about ports in Nigeria? We have other ports, other seaports, but we're concentrated in Lagos. Why?
Well, I think that is at federal government level, because the ports in Koko, the ports in Warri, the ports in Calabar and Onne should join in the foray of providing services to these trailer drivers who want to pick their goods and services from the port. Concentrating on Tinkan and Apapa Port is the cause of all this. So I will, as a matter of advice, wish to talk to the Minister of Transportation to look at Onne, look at
I've been
Warri.
to Onne. I was there last year, towards the end of last year, and that's a big port there. So why are we not utilizing
the port is big, the Warri is big, Calabar is looking very good, even Koko, very good. So it will divert this traffic, this heavy traffic, away from Lagos, that is the hub of all activities, to all other ports, so that all this will stop. Then the issue of intermodal railway lines, yes, to move products. When we were young, all these products were moved by rail from Lagos to other parts of the country by rail. So the rail becomes very essential, sine qua non, for us to move development from the port in Lagos to other places. I think they are making some dry ports in Plateau State and Kaduna. I think that when they take effect very, very effectively, they will be able to serve as an amelioration to what we are seeing now.
Okay, a question came in from South Africa while we were on. It says, why is LASTMA not engaging the public and corporate organization by way of enlightenment? Why are you guys not doing that?
Yes, we have, because when I came on board, I brought up a 9-point agenda, one of which is the community partnership with LASTMA, a community partnership, robust community partnership between LASTMA and other stakeholders, including are not limited to corporate bodies, and who can also provide services to us. And essentially, we have a robust collaboration with them. And that is a wake-up call to increase the collaboration. I think I buy into that idea to increase collaboration and synergy with corporate organizations.
Okay,
I'll say thank you to
the caller Kingsley from South Africa. Okay, looking at it right now, if we do not want to take this route, looking at the Ikorodu road, where else can we take? Because for me, I told myself I'm not going to take that place today. It was a mess yesterday. So where else can one take?
You go on the service lane from Ikorodu right away to the service lane through connecting with Adekunle. You can find your way to the island through the 10 Millard Bridge. I think that's better for you.
Okay, because we're about wrapping up this this segment, I want you to also advise government. You've also said that they should look at other ports, open other ports, so that we won't have the same. Do you think after the repairs of this route, do you think we might still have another cost to also wanting to stop people from taking that road and repairs again?
If I might get you right, there will be massive, this time, more concentration on maintenance of the road, I believe, because they're committing so much money into the construction of the road, which construction people have said is one of its kind in Africa. We'll see it when it comes on board. We talked about the intermodal transportation. We want to encourage Lagosians to also drop their cars and go by ferry from Apapa straight to the island. And the boats to do that have been provided by the Lagos State
government. But are we
government.
sure that this road is going to end, this construction will end before the end of the year? Because government come and go, you start a construction, you never see it end. Another government will pick up, and they will start a new one, and you never see it end. Are we sure this is going to end?
I think with understanding and deepening democracy, the issue of continuity in developmental strides will become part and parcel of the democracy template. What used to happen is that when somebody comes on board, he drops what is going on, picks up his own philosophy and ideology and so on. But I believe that when we have continuity, which we have seen happening in some states, I believe that...
Why do we have that kind of mindset?
Well, I don't know. It's people want to build a name. They struggle to build a name, but I believe they struggle to have sustainability is better than saying this thing was done by me and so on. You go to other climes like America, you will drive from maybe New York by road heading towards Boston, and you see the same thing happening in state by state as you cross. The same routes, the same effectiveness, the same discipline. So we have to start changing our mindset to that of one, continuity, sustainability, and total infrastructural development. Okay,
final word from you as we wrap up this segment. I want you to advise the general public and also your man, the LASMA.
Yes, for LASMA, we must try to be visible, we must be accessible, we must be disciplined, we must be neat, we must be civil, we must be polite, and we must make sure that we carry out the protocol of arrest, which is one, you don't have to quarrel, you don't have to fisticuff, you don't have to be aggressive, you have to be very civil in presentation. We have to deepen enforcement by all means now, more than ever before, particularly in curbing the menace of the yellow buses. And finally, corruption must be avoided, because any LASMA man or woman who is caught will have herself or himself to blame. It could lead to 1, loss of job, 2, reduction in rank, 3, interdiction, 4, suspension. So they should be called to order. And the best form of discipline is self-discipline. They should be disciplined. Therefore, members of the public, they should know that LASMA belongs to their template. We are all brothers and sisters. The LASMA men didn't fall from heaven. They came through these brothers, sisters, and everything. So we are one family. But people are meant to work in different areas. So cooperate with LASMA. Be visible yourself. Be professional. When you drink, don't drive. And when you drive, don't drink. And also try to drive within the ambits and regulations of the law. If you violate, you get punished. I
want to thank the CEO LASMA, AIG Chris Olakwe. Thank you for coming on the segments of the program. But you promised that you're going to give us adverts. I'm going to take that advert from you. We are part of the public, and that's why we're helping out also to the public. I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Viewers at home, we'll go on a break, and when we come back, SuperDawn Sports will continue with Prince Will Oviese. I hope he will talk about the match yesterday. We'll talk more when we come back. We'll be right back.
Bad breath, also known as halitosis or fetoris, affects an estimated 25% of people globally. There are a number of potential causes of halitosis, but the vast majority come down to oral hygiene. Halitosis can cause significant worry, embarrassment, and